Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I am Carol, and I am joined with my co-hosts, Gretta, Kathleen, and of course, the Realm of Beings. Would like to let you guys know that our next expo will be in California at the LAX Airport Hilton Hotel from February 7th to February 9th. You can get your tickets online at www.consciouslifeexpo.com. Gretta will be giving free psychic readings. There will be a special guest star, Alan Steinfeld. For our previous listeners and viewers, you know that we've had him as a guest before, and he's exciting as a guest. And they will actually broadcast Shifting Impressions live from that location. Of course, remember, you can always experience Shifting Impressions and the latest news, including any upcoming expos, on our website, www.therealmofbeings.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Please like and support Instagram. It's under Shifting Impressions. YouTube, Spotify, Transformation Network, and any other of your favorite streaming devices and platforms. We at Shifting Impressions are very happy to be here on Transformation Network every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 8 a.m. Pacific. Listeners and viewers, if you are new to this podcast, thank you for joining us and being part of this experience. These conversations will help you to look at your life and your creation of reality to see what you're creating, how it shows up, and how to help you gain perspective to shift what you're creating in order to create what you want. So welcome, everyone. To our new listeners and viewers, each podcast is about Gretta sharing with us a quote she received from the Realm of Beings, which first we discuss with each other, and later on in the program, the Realm themselves will come in and give us more information. Welcome, ladies. Happy holidays. We have a wonderful, I loved the title that the Realm did with the little play on words. 'Tis the reason to be joyful. And we will talk about joy. The quote is, practice being joyful. It is your divine right. And I think joyful can mean a lot of things to different people. I think people express joyfulness in their own ways. Joy is defined in the dictionary. I always go to the dictionary. You notice that? It's defined as having great feelings of pleasure, delight. I mean, wonderful words. If you look up the opposite of joy, what horrible words. They use misery, and it's just terrible. So it's definitely within our best interests to try to create joy for ourselves. And joy is spoken about this time of the year so much, and we should really practice it, right?
Absolutely. Yes, we should practice it. But sometimes, I know for a minute, and that's a cultural expression because that means for a while,
I use
quite a while. Okay, for a minute. Sometimes, well, some people may not know.
No, I lived in Philly too. I get it.
Yeah. But I was thinking of those out of the country that may not know when we say like in a minute. It's been a minute.
We're not talking about 60 seconds, basically.
No, we're not. We're talking about maybe 60 years or 60 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, because there is no time anyway, which is interesting. That's a different topic that we even have that expression. But it's sometimes it's hard to recognize when you when you are experiencing joy, and what does joy really feel like? And sometimes I personally grappled with that, but I do know when you lack joy, there are a lot of when you consistently lack joy, you can bring upon yourself. Your body's going to tell you when you don't have it. Okay, it's going to show up as we've spoken before with diabetes. Lack of joy. It could just give you the blahs. Like the little robot in the Jetsons. But sometimes it's hard to recognize when you are experiencing joy because there's so many different kinds of joy and so many different ways to experience it. So that's my opening.
Exactly. And one can find joy in sometimes the most unlikeliest places or situations. And like you said, Kathy, they may not recognize it as joy. But sometimes it's the smallest little things. I'm going to give a quick example if you ladies don't mind. One of the girls at work said she was going to bake cookies and she was going to make s'mores. And Carol does not like marshmallows. So Carol does not like s'mores. So what she did was she made 2 special cookies that did not have marshmallows just for me. And that I found extremely joyful. So little things like that. It doesn't really take much if we want to be joyful.
I'm sorry, Greta, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kathy.
No, I was going to say, it's awfully funny because sometimes people think when you're fussing can fill you with joy. Just being able to fuss, because you're releasing a whole lot of stuff and you're fussing. And sometimes, coming up with little zingers and things, little thoughts. And then you say, oh, I shouldn't think that. But it sure made you happy when you thought you were clever enough to come up with those little things. Not saying that they're great, but how do you manage that? I mean, when we're talking about joy, if it fills you with joy, is it a bad thing if it's a low vibrational thing that you're doing?
Like feeling joy at someone else's misfortune, for instance. Greta, please, I'm sorry we interrupted you. Please.
No, you didn't. Neither one of you interrupted me. I think joy, the one thing that I like about the quote is that it has the word practice. Mm. Because most people that I've met, they don't realize that, we can talk this smack, stop thinking, change your thoughts, change your reality, change your emotions, change your reality. And so it makes it sound like, okay, it's snap, what was that little thing with the crispy?
Snap, crackle, pop.
Right. That's,
everything is magically fixed.
Right. As soon as you do that. And it doesn't work like that.
No, it does not.
You have to put the energy into being joyful. You got to put the energy there because especially if you are a person that as a child went through a lot of trauma, even as an adult, if you went through loss and you're grieving, how do you then turn around and be joyful? It's not that it's just going to poof and come. It's that you got to practice it. I know for me, that is something that I have to practice. It's just not going to be there because my go-to is, that's my go-to, So to stay out of that business, I have to really, find things, do things, bring things to me that create a state of joy, a joy for me. So I really, truly have to practice that. And,
Greta, you've been very frank with everyone where you said you recognize being joyful is one of your lessons, which is, I think, very noble for you to share that with everyone. And the fact that you found it challenging and you still are able to practice it is a wonderful example for everyone. So,
thank you, Carol. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
I enjoyed saying that to you.
But it's something, with even my health experience is based on sorrow one of the health challenges I have. So, in order to change that health challenge, I've got to change my go-to, my quote unquote go-to. I have to stay out of that, regardless of what I experience. And what I experience is what I'm going to create. If I create something that's low vibrational, that I'm going to think, oh, wow, look what I created. I really sit down and take a look at myself. Why did Greta do this? A lot of people want to look outside themselves and look at the other person and say, okay, you did this. You're either blaming a person or you're blaming a thing.
True.
Or, you have an automobile accident because you slide into a pole when it's winter and ice on the ground. So you're going to say it's the ice that made me do it. No, it did not. You're the one that did it, if it's personal to you. So I take all my personal stuff and really take the time to look in it and examine it and examine it for lack of joy.
And it's important to do that now too, Greta, because 'tis the season to be joyful. Fa la 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 la. The rest of it. But this is a especially hard time for some people because sometimes instead of experiencing the joy of just living and existing and watching, just moving into the spirit of the season, really we should carry it all year long. Just could just drain them and just really just isolate them and because they're not practicing joy.
And they might be practicing lack.
Well, definitely lack of joy.
So that helps. It is the time of the year, unfortunately, and I hate to bring this up, but they have the highest suicide rate at this time of the year. And it is because of people who don't feel joy or see joy in their lives. Or let me rephrase that, who don't create joy in their lives.
Don't practice it and don't practice it.
And this time of the year, it's in your face so much. The decorations, the commercials, the plans that everyone makes. And if you don't have the abilities to live in that style or the same capabilities that they have, it could very easily put you in a state of lack of joy.
Right.
So,
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, your coworker knew you didn't like the marshmallows. And so just a simple thing like that filled you with joy, made you happy. So smiling at people, the reason I think it catches on is because during this season, people are extra friendly. They're smiling. They'll open the door for you, when they normally just slam it in your face, because they want to experience, or they're creating to experience sharing their joy. And I think when we practice sharing our joy, like your coworker did, giving you those s'mores, I'll take mine with marshmallows. Thank you very much. Let her know. I think that's what we should also do. One of the suggestions to everyone else out there is to smile. Little things mean a lot to people because you never know what they're going through or how they feel.
Right. And see, sometimes I know both of you guys have pets. I've had pets and now I've decided not to have any more pets.
We're your pets, Greta.
Yeah. Oh, Kathy, yes. But, sometimes an animal can make you feel better about yourself. That's why they use animals in therapy sessions.
Yeah, service dogs,
right.
And the equine therapy. I've attended a few functions for them. It's very amazing what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's that communication with an individual who's not going to judge you, really. At least you're not going to feel that they're judging you. Because you're going to think, well, my cat can't judge me, or my dog can't judge me, or my bird can't judge me, or my fish. but they're there and they can give you a certain amount of comfort. So anyone in our audience who is feeling, downtrodden by this season of holiday cheer and mirth and all that kind of stuff, it can be challenging, but you can do it. But we're not saying for you to do it in a large way. A large way. We're not saying that. Do something simple.
Right.
If eating a candy bar makes you feel good, go out and get the candy bar, and sit there and savor the thing and enjoy every morsel of it. If it's to go to a fast food section and get something that's on the menu that you like, go do it. You don't have to do these gigantic things.
Yeah, just enjoy driving around looking at Christmas lights is
so
another
fun.
thing. I mean, especially looking for the ones that are really out there. Even just walking into a store, even if you're not buying anything, just being in the energy of the hustle and the bustle of that, Greta, is another small thing that people can do, during this time period.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's a great point.
People who are thinking about that their lives are so difficult and feeling that there's no way out, feeling that there's no change, then definitely suggest that you seek appropriate help during this time.
Agreed.
Appropriate help. Reach out to the hotline and actually talk to the person. Let them talk you down, because to end your life is not the solution. I can tell you that right now. And it can be, and I don't want to put this out there, but I know there was a time in my own life that it was difficult for me to see any type of joy in it. So, we can say, the realm brought us this quote, but I think they also understand that not everybody's going to be able to actualize that quote, practice being joyful, because the only thing if you're stuck in something, you're stuck in the murk and mire of it, so you can't really see it. It's like if you went into some mud and you stayed in there and it went covered over you. What is that, quicksand or something like that? You can go in something like that, and that's all you see around you. How are you going to change? That's the issue. What do you do? And we can tell people QDR, we can tell people use your affirmations, but when you're feeling down and out and downtrodden, you're not thinking about doing an affirmation or a QDR or anything like that. So I think the big thing then would be to reach out to somebody, and somebody professional that can talk you out of that situation.
Yeah, that's why I think some people go into like a religious organization, like a church. There are all kinds of little clubs, things that you can join. There are people I've seen online, they want to organize your own, joy club, your own.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and then in your neighborhood on one of those next door apps, like who wants to get together and everybody have restaurant meetups. This way you're meeting people and you're getting out of that. In other words, when you put more purpose into your life, and that gives you a chance to practice the joy. And it's also practicing loving yourself.
Right.
Because when I think they kind of go hand in hand, Greta. Practicing loving yourself means that you're able to enjoy the joy and experience the joy on a deeper level. At least that's what's happening for me.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Kathleen, you mentioned smiling, and I just want to go on a tangent on that. A few years back, I worked in a call center, and it was one of those big places where you had a headset on, and you're the nameless face that someone's calling into. And I remember them teaching us to smile, even though we weren't being viewed, we were just being heard. but you actually hear a difference in someone's voice when they smile, even though you can't see them. Because we practice it during the training, and it was like, okay, did that person smile or not? And you could hear the difference. So that was a wonderful suggestion, Kathy. I love it.
See, I didn't know that was even possible. Wow. Thank you, Carol.
Everything is possible.
I feel so enlightened. I feel so joyful. Wow.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And just a little, when Greta said about reaching out for help and Kathy suggesting local things, the way I met Greta was when I was in a very dark place. And it was through a place that was, with yoga and creating reality and this sort of thing, those type of people like us, let's say. And the person in charge picked up on my energy and knew I was in a bad place. And that's how I met Greta. She gave me Greta's phone number and said, you tell Greta I said for you to call her. And it did literally save and change my life. So help can come for you in so many guises. Just be open to it.
And you know what? Just to piggyback on what you're saying, I'm sorry, Greta, because I can read your lines on your face. You're ready to say something. What's that little parable in the Bible or the little joke, somebody came by and they said, oh no, the other one, someone else came by and I couldn't feed the child, couldn't feed the bum, couldn't feed this. And then when Jesus came, he said, well, I came to you 3 times. Or what's the other one where, I'm drowning, can you send me help? And you keep turning them away. It's, I sent you a boat, I sent you this, I sent you that. And you didn't pick it up. In other words, people, you can get a knock. Someone can knock at you and say, hey, I'm giving you some joy. I'm giving you joy. I'm giving you, whatever you need.
Lifeline.
A lifeline, but you don't recognize it, or you unconsciously you just dismiss it rather than picking. You know what I mean?
Recognize.
Finish my words. Okay.
That means you have to be open. But see, the other thing about this, when you're not believing that you can ever be joyful, you can miss the line that's sent out to you. You're so blocked that you cannot even grab hold to it. You cannot even, you can't even see it. I'm being led right now for the last 10 minutes to give my number out. So I'm going to do that. It's public knowledge anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if there's anybody out there that wants to talk about a situation, text me first. But it's 773-633-1069, and can help you walk through some things if you're having a challenge like this. But, but you can come out of it because, we've had podcasts and we suggest that people look them up that talks about that you're never stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You're never stuck in a situation ever. I don't care what it is. Never, never, never. I don't even care what disease it is. Never consider yourself to be stuck, or that you want to live or you don't want to live. Because I tell you, making a choice of not wanting to live, that's okay. But the only thing is that you have to understand what happens when you move on. When you make your transition, if you haven't learned the lesson, you're coming back to look at that lesson again. You just won't remember that you had it.
Right.
But you're going to take it with you. That's a part of this that's very fascinating. So, and divine right, that is so prophetic when they say it is your divine right. That's our normalcy. That's our norm. Doing the opposite is not the norm. So a lot of times, and I'm including myself in that, We create realities that are outside of the norm, that are outside of you being practicing your divinity. It's outside of that. So, it's the divine right. Every one of us. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what ethnicity, what race. I don't care where you're located. You could be in the Amazon rainforest. You can be in the Sahara Desert. It doesn't matter where you are. You have the divine right. And one of the divine rights is to practice your divinity. And one way of doing that is to practice it through joy.
That's a wonderful Christmas gift you just gave everyone, Greta, by giving out your number. And to listeners and viewers who are not aware, Greta's experiences are guided by the realm. She has so much training. Like I said, she saved my life, and I am forever and eternally grateful for her. And I'm still learning lessons. It's always still going to be a little challenge because Carol doesn't know how to do things the easy way, but I'm so.
Isn't that joyful though? Doesn't it fill you with joy to know that,
Then when I do overcome a challenge, it makes it that much more exciting.
That much better, and that's why, we just have to stop beating ourselves up because, we created this. And I was talking with Greta about that. I created that. And then you walk around, why? Okay. So I did this. I'm going to laugh about it. I'm going to laugh at myself. And you know what? I'm practicing loving myself. I'm looking at all of it. Everything I do is practicing loving myself. And I said, well, that's not really, I'm still loving myself when I'm doing it, but it's not in the way I want it. So if I want it to be a different way or different outcome, then I just, okay, I won't do it that way anymore. I'll do it that way. Like, don't buy a shoe size too small because you want to have small feet. Just buy the shoes that fit. Buy the shoes that fit. When people buy clothes and stuff they don't fit in, there you go. Okay.
I agree.
So if it's not comfortable, don't do it.
And Kathleen, I just want to put this out there to the audience. Kathleen is our newest co-host. Greta started years ago with other people, and then I came on board as a replacement, and now we had Kathleen come on board as a replacement. And I have to say, out of everybody, Kathleen's experiences and contributions, I think, are so inspirational, and we really
Carol,
need to be
I think
listening.
yours are too.
Thank you. On that note, however, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to ask the audience to stay with us because we will be right back. And when we return, we will have the realm here to.
Now, see, that filled me with joy.
Oh, good. I enjoy telling you.
Yeah, we're sharing joy.
Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us, audience. We are at that portion of the program where the realm will come and we'll discuss the quote with them to get more insight. Realm, welcome.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon.
So happy when you join us. I have to compliment your wonderful pun of the title, "'Tis the Reason to be Joyful." I thought that was very clever and I appreciated it very much. We are talking about joy, and your quote is, "Practice being joyful. It is your divine right." Please give us more insights that you'd like us to know. Please, Realm?
We want to talk about the fact that sometimes we want to beat up on ourselves because we say, why did I create that? Or why did I create that person to come into my life? It's always a why with us sometimes, or it can be that you just accept it. You accept to sabotage yourself. You accept to not love yourself. It's an acceptance. And so when you practice something, you're practicing to get rid of the acceptance of things that are low vibrational that you feel are not suiting you at the time. You know, sometimes if you want to hold on to anger about somebody, like you ladies were talking about that, you know, you see something, you do something to somebody, you say something to somebody, and you get happy and you're joyful because you say, ha ha, my comeback was great. You know, I did a great comeback with that person. They said something to me and I zinged them right back. What does that do? It only keeps you in a state of zinging. That's all it does. It doesn't it doesn't bring you into a higher vibration just because you felt that you zinged the person when they zanged you, you know, or that's a get back. Let me get back at you. You're seeking revenge.
Yep. That's not good.
Sometimes we even seek revenge against ourselves. Notice we're saying we. I don't want people to misinterpret how I'm talking, but I'm using we because I would like the audience to understand that we don't see ourselves separate from anyone. So that is why we are using the pronoun we today. And sometimes, depending which one of us is coming through, we'll use the we again.
Thank you for that clarification, Realm.
Thank you. You're welcome. You know, but the thing is that we keep saying it, love ourselves, but how can you love yourself when you created to get fired? Exactly during the season of joy and myrrh. And they're letting you go. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to say, look what I did? That I let my family down. I hurt my family. Now we can't buy all the gifts we need for each other because now I have no money. The turn of events turns now to survival. How will I survive what I have created? So when you talk about joy, it becomes kind of simplistic. How can I be joyful when I don't have a job and I got to feed my family? How can I be joyful in that? You can't. So the thing is, if you're in that can't stage, that's the stage that you want to change. You don't want to be in the can't. You want to be in that I am willing to change. And you move from I am willing to change to I am changing. Even if you say those words will help you. You see, it'll move you out of the low vibrational feelings that you have. It might not move you to complete joy at that moment. You know, we're not naive. We understand what humans go through. And if you get into a survival mode, the last thing you want to think about is putting lights on a Christmas tree or lighting your menorah. That's the last thing you want to think of because you want to turn towards survival. So how do you experience joy when you're trying to survive? This is the thing. So what we're suggesting for that, we're not going to suggest our usual, which is the quick displace, replace, or the affirmations. We're not even going to suggest that. We suggest you sit down and talk to yourself and tell yourself, okay, I created this. I'm getting stronger from it. You know, I'm getting stronger from this lesson that I created for myself. You see. So and talk to yourself about, okay, I created this, but now I am out of this situation. See, that claim what you want, even under dire need. Claim what you want. Just speak it. You don't have to do anything fancy. Your unconscious doesn't care, it just wants to hear. The energy just wants to hear you say, okay, I am surviving. You want a turkey? There are people go to the church that's giving out the turkey and giving out food that you can use so you can have a wonderful Christmas. Create the Christmas that you want, or create the Hanukkah celebration that you want. Create these things, you see. Don't come out of the downtrodden, become the strong. Because see, when we wrote that, it is your divine right to be joyful. It is also your divine right to have strength. Reach inside because your strength is there. Reach inside for your strength during these dire situations. Now, there are some people that are enjoying the holidays, but they're not speaking to their family. You know, I'm not speaking to my brother. I'm not speaking to my mother now, you see. So you want to get rid of all that murk and mire. That's murk and mire. But you got to believe that you can do it, that you can. And you'll find a way. What do they say? You'll find a way out of no way. You can look for that. It's there. So maybe you cannot produce the joy that we've been talking about during this podcast. But you can create something that is palatable for you.
And that points you in the right direction.
To be in a state of helplessness.
Yeah.
You know, reach out to people.
And I bet there are a lot of people in the audience, and I bet all of us here right on the show have had situations, I know personally I have, that did seem dire, and I felt despair. But I held on, and this was before I even knew about creation of reality. I held on to the thought that I can survive this. I came from the Gloria Gaynor record, Kathleen, I will survive. And I always, and it's sometimes is almost more difficult being part of this podcast when I do seem to reach an area of challenge, because I think to myself, of anyone, I should know better. And it gets difficult. And I do beat myself up sometimes. I'm going to be honest with the audience. We're not perfect either. But again, that word in here about practice and about divinity, divine, I think we all forget that. I know I forget it sometimes. And
I've been where you are, Carol, but you know what? I keep manifesting, like when I would say maybe 10 years ago, whatever, but whatever. But all of a sudden, a song would pop up on the radio or on YouTube if I'm sitting outside. This is my fight song, Take Back My Life song.
Oh, yeah.
And so that one would make me say, that's right. I am strong. I do have the strength. I am surviving this. I survived that, this, that, and the other. This is just another part of my journey. So when people ask me how I'm doing, a friend of mine said, Kathy, just say, like I do, strong. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Strong.
Good answer.
Claim being strong, just strong. And
that's
a good idea.
That this is about in the first place. It's to recognize your inner being, your inner strength. All of these lessons, from the removal of a bunion to chemotherapy to being totally well, we create. So the thing is, something that you said, Kathy, and I think Carol alluded to it as well. We're not going to sabotage ourselves. If you see that you created something that you want to hang your head low because you created it, raise your head and say, it's okay. I'm learning from it.
Right.
It's okay. I'm learning.
And, even with the zingers, it's not like I say them, but then I say, why am I thinking, why do I even want to create the situation where I have to use it, where I have to zing? That's what I've been going through now. So I'm going, gee, I don't want to zing. I just want to, that's not the way to do that, But it sure is a lot of fun thinking about it, because they do make me laugh at myself.
There's a great expression that I try to keep in my mind. I would rather be happy than right.
You'd rather be happy than right?
And right. Like if you're in an argument with someone and you're pushing your point because you have to be right, why fight it? I'd rather be happy and have peace. So I don't always practice that. I have to be honest.
I think sometimes I might want both.
Yeah. But it's an expression that I try to keep in the forefront of my mind, because being right doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy from it.
And not only that, Carol, but you're probably the only one who thinks you're right.
That's a good point.
Ralph has jokes today.
The other thing, I'm amazed at the realm using words like zing and zang. I don't even know that they knew those words.
Oh, we know all words in all languages.
That does not surprise me, really.
No.
That's fabulous.
Well, zing and zang.
Yeah, so what I've been doing, practicing, like what we're talking about, I say, do I really want to experience that? Do I want to create that experience to use that zinger? And I'm going, nah, you don't have to, but you can tuck it away in your unconscious just in case you need it. Just in case it rears its little head, you can just go, you know what? I'm going to tell you, because we talked about before about not being able to protect ourselves, Carol, like, I was never a physical fighter or anything like that. So I learned to back people up off just acting like I can fight. You could knock me over with a matchstick. I'm going to go, I'm running, because no, Kathy's not. My mother tried her best to make me a physical fight. It's never going to happen. So, and I got tired of lying in bed saying, when that person said this, I should have said that. And so it's a habit. I realize now what I'm doing, what's coming to me is it's a habit. I store them, but I'm also creating the experiences to use them when I don't need to do that.
Absolutely.
But they're there just in case I think I need them. So it's sort of like a cigarette, like a security blanket, kind of like a little thing. If I'm equating incorrectly, or my phraseology is wrong, Carol's going to straighten it out for me.
No, you're fine.
But you understand what I'm saying. It's a habit. It's a habit because for me to be involved in any type of physical altercation or hurt someone, it's just I just can't do that. I'll put it to I don't know if I could do it. And if I'm pressed to do it, I don't know if I could do it. And I was wondering and thinking about that, dealing with a certain situation. And it's just not me. And so I think of other ways of doing it. And then I said, well, do I want to get in a tit for tat? Do I want to hurt that person? So that's just how I
there's one thing about that, Kathleen, that you might want to look at, and that is, why did you create the situation in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. So I didn't create it. So why would I want to create it to use the zingers? What's the purpose of me trying to create that? But it's the same thing. Why did I create those situations? What back in the way back, I don't create them in the way front now, or right where I am now. But sometimes, I think of things and I go, well, suppose someone says that. Suppose I'm in a situation. I guess the Girl Scout in me comes out. Always be prepared, and it's a defensive mechanism. It's like you're afraid. It's a fear thing coming up, and I have to. I guess it's a way of where I have to make sure that's my way of coping and making sure that people see me. I see myself as strong, and make them see me as strong, even if I'm not. It's a facade. It's a mask.
I think that for you, it's like people putting a deadbolt on their door or a security type of lock because it makes them feel safer. And I don't see any issue with that as long as you're not creating the situation that will make you have to use those zingers or whatever it is.
But see, the fact that you have created the zinger in the first place means that you're going to create to use them.
That's exactly correct. And that's why I QDR'd it, Realm. You'll be proud of me. Every time I do that and I crack up, I go, well, let me QDR that because I do not want to create those experiences. No. And so I have learned, that's the part I have learned, to QDR that. But then I say, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? And I QDR it again. But that was basically how when I first started the conversation, this session, the show today. That's why I kind of brought that up,
For those people who are just seeing us today or who have not followed us on every podcast, Kathleen, you brought up the QDR. Could you tell them what it is?
Yes, it's a quick displace replace. It is a way of using, it always goes like, for example, I'm experiencing creating and maintaining. Excuse me. No. I'm experiencing, oh my good Lord.
I am experiencing releasing
all emotions and thoughts that support me in creating and maintaining, creating situations where I need zingers. I love myself unconditionally. And if I want to block it, I'll say, I am experiencing creating high vibrational experiences with everyone that I meet.
Very good.
That's what I've been doing. But some of them, I'm telling you, they're hysterical. I just wake myself up.
And again, for the newbies to the show, Affirmations was the second part of what Kathy said of that block. That's where you only would use high vibrational wording. The only time we allow ourselves what we would call low vibrational wording is in the displace part.
QDR.
And the replace is the love of unconditional love of self.
Oh, did I say I love myself unconditionally after the QDR? Okay.
Certainly did.
Okay.
So that's what they mean, or what we mean when we say quick displace what you don't want. And it's okay to use words that are of low vibration, like I am experiencing, releasing, creating, and maintaining being frightened of driving at night. And then quickly replace it with I love myself unconditionally.
Because that replaces the low vibrational thought and emotion that you had. And it, basically it's a way of neutralizing it.
Right. That's a good word, Kathleen. I like that.
Neutralizing it. So that's why I can sit back and crack up and then just do a QDR.
It's like a guilty pleasure.
It really is. It's like a chocolate bar. I ate the chocolate. I ate the chocolate. I took a bite and said, "Oh, it's so good," but I know I didn't eat it.
Oh yes, good, good. QDRs are good.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
What time is it, Carol?
It's almost time for us to, unfortunately, have to leave. But first, we'd like Kathleen to tell us what we can expect to hear next week.
Well, the title is Give Yourself a Chance. The quote, your answers to questions in your life are only found internally because your trueness resides within you.
Great.
Oh.
Realm, thank you again. We always love having you, but we are going to ask you to bring Gretta back, please.
All right. We were very glad to be present with everybody, and we're wishing everybody peace and joy in their lives and understanding of self.
Very
Goodbye.
good. I love that. And we'd like to take this time, the whole Shifting Impressions team, to wish everyone happy, healthy holidays, to be joyful. I'd like to thank Transformation Network, who allows us to broadcast this to so many viewers. We'd like to thank The Realm, Kathleen and Gretta, and of course, most importantly, you, the audience, till we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the Realm and me, Gretta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.